Hey there, what's going on? It is Mr. Wonderful, Nick Pearl. Thanks for tuning in. With today being April 20th and the release of Super Troopers 2, I thought what better day than today to count down the 10 best stoner comedies of all time. So let's kick off the list. Number 10 is a classic from Kevin Smith, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. All I need to tell you about this one is that Jay and Silent Bob are pretty much at the time that they were created, modern day version of Cheech and Chong, Bill and Ted. They were absolutely at the prime of their game back when this film came out. It's got everything you'd want for a stoner comedy and much more, including Mark Hamill, even cop coming up there at the end with the whole Luke Skywalker references and all of that. The number 9 movie on this list is The Big Lebowski. This is a classic, a great one. You have an amazing cast of characters with Jeff Bridges, John Goodman, Steve Buscemi. This is an absolute classic and a perfect stoner comedy. You are guaranteed to laugh at some point in time throughout the course of this movie and be quoting it as well every single day for the rest of your life. I mean, you're out of your league. Let's put it that way. The number 8 movie on this list is my personal favorite, but it didn't make number 1 because this isn't my list. This is a general list of the best stoner films. But it is Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, and this is the only movie on this list that actually doesn't show the two main characters doing some type of smoking of the herb or talking about it in any way at all. But you're pretty much aware that these two are stoner characters. They are very dim-witted, very slow. They're about to fail history, so they take the most excellent adventure through time in order to pass their history class and eventually go on to become one of the greatest bands of all time that creates world peace and plays on the moon for the first time, as we find out in the sequel. But yeah, it is a classic. It is worth the watch. Keanu Reeves in the 80s, Alex Winter, great duo together. They are just absolutely perfect. It is pure chemistry, pure beauty, pure stoner comedy. And it's going to be the most tamest of the films on this list as well. So one that you can even watch with your kids. If you got kids and, you wanted to watch a good stoner film today with your kids, that's the one you can watch with them. The number 7 film is Grandma's Boy. Another personal favorite of mine, comedy-wise. I think that this is... I think this is a really funny movie. It's not a perfect movie by any means necessary, and it's kind of bad, actually. But it is a great stoner film. It just captures the whole stoner essence, what you look for in this type of a comedy where it's very raunchy. It very much just keeps going there. The ridiculousness, I mean, way too big to drive to the devil's house, so the monkey drives them. This is absolutely a stoner film if ever there's a stoner film. Number 6 on my list over here is another classic, Dazed and Confused. Matthew McConaughey with the classic, that's what I love about high school girls, man. They get old, I get older, they stay the same age, and the whole, hey man, you cool? It's asking you if you smoke. It is that end of the school year. It's also good for this time of the year as well, as we're starting to get closer to the end of the school year, as it's the last day, high school, the big party. Very much a good movie to watch, and a great movie as well, a very classic film. If you haven't seen it, where have you been since it came out in the 90s? The number 5 is, now we're into the top 5. The number 5 is actually the reason why this list is happening today with the sequel coming out, and that is Super Troopers, a film that caught everybody by surprise when it came out in 2001, a film that is now just a cult classic. It's a stoner comedy. You can't argue that. It's a comedy, but it definitely hits the stoner comedy aspect because of the whole marijuana smuggling, the whole reeferness to it. There's the whole smoking and watching the Afghani cartoon as well sequence. This is a great comedy. This is a great movie. The first Super Troopers is a great movie that's just worthy of any time to watch, but more specifically, if you're looking for that comedy today, this is one that you absolutely can turn to and know that you're going to laugh for an hour and a half. The number 4 film is another great one, Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. Another one of those films that very dumb premise, very dumb plot, two guys, Friday night, just getting high, want to get that perfect meal on, want to get that perfect munchie meal on, and White Castle is the place they want to go. You can have the logical discussion about this movie all you want with some of the ridiculousness of it, but it's what it is. It knows it's a stoner comedy, and it takes it there, and it goes there, and it takes all the great elements of actually what the top three films do, and it is incorporated into this movie with two very charismatic, and again, you notice the teams, another very good comedy duo team, with Harold and Kumar over there. The number 3 film is the only one from Seth Rogen, and there are a lot to choose from. Superbad's a great one. This Is the End is a great one. Any Seth Rogen film. Sausage Party, another one. Any Seth Rogen film, but the one that made this list and the one that makes the top 3 is his classic Pineapple Express. Another great trio. You get a lot of the duo, but you can't leave Danny McBride out of this one as well. But you do get a lot of Rogen and Franco. Rogen smokes, sees a murder, runs to his drug dealer. His drug dealer bought the weed from the guy who committed the murder, Red. It literally is just snowballs so fast, snowballs so perfectly, and is a really good, just like everything Rogen does, very good, very heartwarming, so it's going to be very enjoyable all the way through. The number 2 film, another classic, Cheech and Chong, Up in Smoke. If you haven't seen this one, you are not doing your stoner comedies right. This pretty much, I want to say, is the stoner film that set the bar of stoner films, which might be begging the question right now as I say that this is the one that set the bar. How could it not be number 1? And that's, this argument happens a lot with stuff. You can argue it with Friday the 13th as well, or any movie in general. Just because the first one set the bar doesn't necessarily mean it is the best one, and that's why coming in at number 1 on this list is none other than Dave Chappelle's classic Half Baked, which is a must-watch any day of the week, but more specifically, a must-watch on 420. Perfect team of just comedians, young comedians that were just looking for that break at the time that this movie came out in the 90s. Jim Breuer is perfect. Dave Chappelle is great. Dave Chappelle does the multiple characters. Jerry Garcia pops up in this film, even though Jerry Garcia is dead, but you got Jerry Garcia in a pouch. It's a stoner comedy. It is a great stoner comedy, and it is perhaps the best stoner comedy that has been made since Cheech and Chong pretty much set the bar of what a stoner comedy should be. So there you have it. 10 great films that you can watch. There are some films that I know you're probably going, hey, why didn't Friday make the list? Or hey, why didn't something like Hot Rod make the list? I know I'm going to get flack for stuff like that, but why don't you drop me a line in the comment section below? Give me your 10 best stoner comedies. Tell me what you think shouldn't have been on this list, what you think should have been on this list, or just let me know what you think maybe I ranked too low or ranked too high. Leave yours in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear the feedback. Again, my Twitter handle, @wonderful_radio. You can always tweet me 24/7. I might not reply right away. It might take me like 2 days, but it's because, it does take some time to read through them. For that, also, make sure you do subscribe to this YouTube page as well. You'll get all the updates when I post a new video. I'll have more like this. You could always go back and check out the other videos I have. I do have a review up right now for Super Troopers 2 as well. So if you want to see whether or not you should be heading to the theaters for your 420, head on over and check out the Super Troopers 2 review. Super Troopers 2 review. As you try saying that 5 times fast. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great weekend and be safe.